Hey, folks, it's your boy Javier Morales. This is Body Rocking Combos. Welcome. Um, I want to talk to you about your boy Earl Spence real quick. We'll chop it up and see what's going on through his little dome because he's calling a man out from a division and he hasn't fought in. Far from it. Yes, he debuted back in 2012 at 154 and rock and rolled there until like about 2015. Right? In 2015, he stayed consistent with the whole welterweight division. And he fought who they put in his way, and he dominated. Bundu Jack, notable name, and Algieri. I'm not saying these guys are anything special, right? But they are notable names, talented, and respects off to boys wearing them gloves to strap up and get in there and put their lives on the line to entertain us and for their pride and honor. So, right, he did his thing. He did his thing till he, well, not till, but he did his thing, and then he jumps in the ring with Kell Brook. Well, he meets Kell Brook. Brook, coming off of a loss to Gennady Golovkin, did not want to drop his belt. He suffered a tragic injury to the eye socket. I don't know whether it was left or right, but whichever it was, your boy Spence went ahead and made sure he matched the other one to it. So he won by TKO in that one, but in all credit, he was doing a great job. Brooks was doing a great job, and I don't remember the actual score before the TKO, before he quit, but I remember that I want to say I had Brooks up, but I do remember that he was having great success, and Spence didn't really have an answer for him. But you know what? This is boxing. And boxing, the truth is you adjust and you figure it out. And as soon as he adjusted and figured it out, down, son. Called it quits. He did. I mean, hey, a win is a win, right? He won that fight, got the IBF. After that, he fought like Lamont Peterson, Mikey Garcia, and Mikey Garcia plays a big role in what we're talking about today. And actually, so does Kell Brook, now that I think about it. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. So, Mikey Garcia, lightweight, moves on up and challenges himself and believes in himself, gambles on himself, and goes in there and loses a 12-round decision to Earl Spence. Earl Spence gets the win, walks out with the W and a pocket full of cash, both of them. They pretty much filled up the Dallas arena. It was awesome. You never know, but I'm not gonna give him too much. I'm not gonna give Spence too much credit for that fight, but because a man steps up to you, you handle your business. Hey, you get that win. A win is a win. Mikey Garcia, you get more hate than he does for showing up and not showing up, being there and not showing up. How's that? That sounds better. Being there, not showing up. So, who knows what it is, man. It was just an off night. Maybe, I'm going to say like this. Earl Spence was the better man that night and did what he did. Spectacular. It was not, it was hard. If you gave Mikey Garcia a round, it was just pure bias because Earl Spence showed a lot that night. And, congrats to that one. My hat's off to you. Mikey's a talented guy, but a smaller guy, and has always been a smaller guy. But like I said, if you step up to the plate, I'm not gonna take a win from you. If they step up to the plate, I'm not, and you beat them, and because they had the balls to step up, then it is what it is. You handled your business. That's all that matters, I think. So then you got your boy Porter. Porter steps up to the plate, and Porter lost his IBF belt to old Brooksy there, right? Which was a good fight. And any fight that Porter is in is a rugged bout. But here's the thing. I'm not so much, how can I put this? I used to kind of hate on Porter. Not him as a person, but just his boxing, because it was so messy. He was all over the place, man. Like, just so rugged, and there was no skill. So you see, like a brawler. It's hard for me and a few people who love the sweet science. To watch a brawler is just, man, it's kind of weird. But you give it its respect. They get out there. I mean, they get my respect no matter what. It works. And whenever he fought for the WBC against Danny Garcia, Porter Garcia, I gave it to Danny Garcia. Like, you know what? Danny Garcia is going to blow this dude out of the water. This football player, messy ass dude. He's not going to do anything, and blah, blah, blah. He's going to outbox him. He's going to counter him all night. He's going to move and bing, bing, bing. Well, yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. Porter showed me a totally different side of him. A boxing clinic he put onto that boy, Danny Garcia, the Boricua out of Philly. And I was shocked. I was surprised. I was mind blown. And man, I was a Porter fan before. I knew the guy. I like the guy, and he's a great person, and his father's awesome too, man. It's a great team. Only thing is that I just didn't like that messiness. And whenever he fought Earl Spence, again, I was like, wow, the dude impressed me, man. Big time. Man, he was turning him. He was outboxing him. He was in there, dogging him out. Bang, 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 bam. And I'm going to be honest with you. I gave Porter that fight. Now, I can go back here when I give my editing system up. I will go back and show you why I gave it to Porter. And at a closer look, I might be wrong, right? There is criteria to it, but you get a second look and you feel another way about it. You see it differently. At first, you got your little emotions up and you're kind of like anticipating and you're watching, and you might see it different. I don't know. It happens. It happens. I know people that they see the Lara fight and they gave it to Canelo. They gave it to Lara. They watch it for the second time. Hey, man, that's Canelo's fight. He won that fight. Showbiz the adult. He did a show on it and an episode on it, and y'all watch it, man, because it's real good. He breaks it down great. Anyway, a lot of people call it opinion, but there is criteria to it, and I want to do a episode on that. The criterias of boxing, how to score, how to judge, but because some people just don't understand it, I don't know. But anyway, let's go. Let's talk about this. So that's that boy. Let's talk about the man that was the 140 undisputed champion and moved on up, fought Horn. Whenever he fought Horn, who had just beat Pacquiao, he fought Horn in 2019, got the WBO, and then cleans up that division, gets Ndango, and then after Ndango, he he gets Ndango, cleans it up, then he goes to Horn, and then he fights like Amir Khan, and he fights Amir Khan, and who else did my boy Crawford fight after Horn? Brooks, right? So he fights Khan, and then he fights Kowalskiewicz. Anyway, the guy was 21-0, but he wasn't nothing for my boy. It was just one of them little fights to get out of the way, I guess. Anyway, then he fights Kell Brook. Kell Brooks, now healed up, has 2 losses from Gennady Golovkin, which broke his first eye socket when he decided to move on up and test himself. And then he fights Earl Spence, like we covered, like I said a little while ago, and he matched that face break, that was orbital, or whatever it's called, eye socket, I guess. The orbital bone got broken, so he was out for a while, and it took him a little bit to get his little act together. Anyway, so Terence Crawford dominated that man in a spectacular fashion. It was great, and I've never seen a knockout like that, man. He got him in the corner, and then he goes, and then he feints him, but then he's coming this way, then he's boom, and then he catches him with that left, and man, it was just awesome. It was awesome, man. That dude was out of there, man, and he just outthought him, outclassed him, and that's it, you know. Terence Crawford to me is, one of the greatest that has stepped into that ring. He is, honestly. I mean, you look at his skills set, what he can do, how he thinks in there, how he moves, how his power, what his abilities. You know, they like to mention that he has every tool in the toolbox, and that is true. A lot of people hype up his whole little movement about, you know, him being orthodox. Boom, then he's southpaw. Boom, goes back to orthodox, or things like that. But I mean, we're talking about he can either fleet foot, he can stay on his toes, he can flat foot, he can dog it out, he can swing, bam, bam, bam. He's a counter puncher. He can jab you all night. It doesn't matter. I mean, the guy has it all. You know, he is he's something special, and we should he should be recognized by that. And I don't know how good Top Rank, your boy Bob Arum, has done with that, with hyping him up, right? Pumping him up, getting that information out there. I remember not long ago, when I was at live, when I was there in T-Mobile Stadium, about to watch Canelo and Golovkin won. Matter of fact, it was the weigh-in. And on the screen they show Terence Crawford. Man, I got live. I'm like screaming like if he could hear me, like Terence, my boy, And if I didn't feel silly that of course he's not gonna film me, is that pretty much everybody around me was sitting down looking at me like I was crazy, like I was Prince Hakeem, during halftime, from America, coming to America, yes, yeah, this is my favorite part. They didn't know who he was, man. There's a bunch of Mexicans in there just rooting for Canelo, not boxing fans, but boxing fans of a boxer, which is fine, and that's what the sports needs. because once you recognize one, you might get interested in the next, and then they talk about them and this and that, and you just start to grow, well, that's what I hope. I just want people to get into it. I tell people all the time about this boxer and that boxer. Anyway, probably why I made a show and just feel comfortable with it. Anyway, we're down to this moment where we're in an era, it seems like nobody wants to fight anybody because they're afraid to risk that undefeated record. We'll say, thank you, pretty boy. Or thank you, money. Better said. This pretty boy fought him. Anyway, people hype up that 0 too much, man. There's a bunch of greats that don't have a 0. Many, many, many greats that are over your so-called self-proclaimed TB that have 0. They have their 0 taken. Anyway, Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence is the fight that needs to be made. The only fight right now that if they asked me for $1,000 to watch, I would pay to watch. That's it. Yeah, pay-per-view is $1,000. I would gladly pay $1,000 to watch Terrence Crawford versus Earl the Truth Spence. And as much as I want to say that they're ducking, or people want to say that Spence is ducking, I did a show on it before, one of my early ones, which I don't have that many. But anyway, the thing is that some part of me wants to feel like maybe they're wrong, maybe they're lying, maybe it's a show, right? And we'll see it. Man, there's no way Spence is scared of Terrence Crawford. There's no way, right? Man, he keeps proving that little voice in the back of my head that holds on to hope wrong. He keeps doing it more and more. I'm a Bud fan. I am. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's been a long time, right? On top of that, I used to ride for Nebraska, back in the day, and it just makes it even easier to support the guy. Which, right? Don't even ask me why. And I have no idea why. When I used to watch college football, that I was a Nebraska fan. Nebraska, I could tell you I was a Notre Dame fan with Catholicism, right? Anyway, so and for sure, just real quick note, just off subject, but as far as Notre Dame, for some reason I feel like us Mexicans have a connection with the Irish because we're both a bunch of drunks that like to fight. So it's what it is, right? Maybe. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. First it was Spence gets in. Spence tells Crawford when he was calling him out back at 140, he says, come to 147 and get a belt and I'll give you a shot. What does he do? Goes to 147, beats the man, Horn, who beat the man, Pacquiao, and got the WBO, right? And after that, come on, baby doll, where y'all at? Fight me. Everybody stays silent, right? You got your boy Thurman, doesn't want to fight him. You got your boy. Nobody wants a piece of Bud, and it's clear as day. You can see. He wants him to jump hurdles. He'll jump hurdles. I'm pretty sure. I don't care. And now they're both talking about Pacquiao because they want that payday. Pacquiao doesn't prove anything. Pacquiao beat Thurman To the casuals, it's like, oh yeah, he beat a young guy, da da da. Yeah, Thurman was out for a long time, had the shoulder problems and this and that. Ring rust. He basically took a loss for a paycheck. Thurman did. If he had been active in training, and I think, man, don't want to lie to you, but I want to say it because I've said it plenty of times, is that that whenever he was training himself for Pacquiao, apparently he was just doing it on his own. Like at Planet Fitness, he said, what is that? Like, that's not training for Pacquiao. Like, do you not want to win the fight? Do you not? Or do you think that Pacquiao was that old and that much of a pushover? In all honesty, or did you just want to keep every penny of that fight? But anyway, so here we are, December 2020, miserable year, horrible year. It's in the record books. Just horrible year. For everything you could imagine. And here we are, and they ask Earl Spence, mind you, he did get into an accident in, I want to say, October 10th of 2019. Sorry. And after that accident, of course, it took him a while to get good, get better, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad he survived. I'd hate to see another Salvador Sanchez where, the man's on the rise and great skill, and it's just, what would it have been, and that could have been Terrence Crawford for just a simple night of getting drunk, having fun or whatever. I mean, they charged him with a DWI. I don't know what happened with that case, and maybe I'll look into it and do a video about it. And hope he beats it, whatever. I hope it's all good. I mean, he got flown out of the windshield, so technically, I mean, he wasn't in the driver's seat. Prove that I was. No video, right? I guess. So that'll be my defense. Hey, you got to plead the fifth, right? The law is they have to prove that you're guilty. You don't have to prove that you're innocent. So prove it. Anyway, where are we at here? Yeah, so Crawford did what he has to do. He did all that. Your boy fights Danny Garcia. A tune-up for him, admittedly, right? Said he could beat Danny Garcia at 70% if he was whatever. So, I mean, I want to do a video on that, on the Danny Garcia situation, because, man, that is a great, talented guy with athletic ability. Very marketable, likable, but, his biggest problem is the man that holds the sack he swam out of, right? His father, man. His father is just a mess. His father, Danny Garcia's father, which is Angel Garcia, has nothing for him, man. He has nothing, absolutely nothing for him. He's not teaching him anything. He's not saying anything. When you seen this fight, I mean, every test that he took at welterweight, and even tests that he took under that, I want to say he fought Lamont Peterson at 140. He lost that fight, but he did great with others, and I will never talk bad about Morales, Eric Morales. He beat Morales. He beat fastest hands, your boy Amir Khan, and when Amir Khan was a big thing. Amir Khan was a big thing at a time that Floyd Mayweather was ducking the man for 2 years, was his Mando. people like to bring up Jamal Charlo all the time. Side note, I guess. Canelo ducked him, which was never a mandate, right? Whenever Canelo had the strap after he beat Golovkin, it was Golovkin made this guy his mandatory. Was made into his mandatory. Charlo. Anyway, I don't mean to get off the subject, but you have Danny Garcia faced with all these challenges, all these opportunities to be the man. How many opportunities are you going to get? It's like Derevyanchenko, like, man, you got all these shots and you didn't do any of them. And I'm going to tell you what, he should have got Derevyanchenko. Side note, Derevyanchenko should have got that win from GGG, but it's okay. Whatever. The judges didn't see it that way. Okay, you accept it, you swallow it, move on. Okay, he should have done more to beat him, right? But it's what it is. I believe he deserved the win. He deserved the nod, but it didn't happen that way. And I'm not going to get into politics and corruption. So what I believe that Danny Garcia should have done what Ryan Garcia did, better said, Ryan Garcia's father, and stepped down. But Ryan Garcia had his father step down because his father said, hey, you're going to another level. You need someone better than me. I admit I've met my limit to where I could help you, son. So as a good father, a great father, I'm going to allow someone else to guide you, right? Someone who knows more than I do, someone who has been there, done that, and molded a champion that can make you the same. And, I believe that dude, Angel Garcia, not only is he ignorant and loudmouth and just not all there, to put it in PC terms, he doesn't have the talent he doesn't have the knowledge that Danny Garcia needed for his career to be a champion, because he could have beat the likes of Thurman, one-time Thurman, with the right trainer by his side. He could have beat Porter. He could have beat Spence. But Angel Garcia, for example, during the Spence fight, had no answers for him. He had nothing. No game plan, no changing, no adjustments, anything. Get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. I don't know what he was saying. How? What you want me to do? Everything I do, he's got an answer for this and that. I mean, they tried, at least try to change the thing. Not just tell me, I don't know, man. Get rid of that guy, Danny. If you see this video by any chance, bro, please get rid of that guy, man. Sorry, but I am a fan. You're right. I am. You probably lost some fans when a lot of buddies of mine would mention you talking about the Mexican. I was like, no, man, he's Puerto Rican. But you know that little rivalry. So I think you lost some friends there, some fans there as soon as I said Puerto Rican. But anyway, man, hey, you're a great champion. Great. I mean, the dude's good. But he could have been better without that guy. Anyway, so after all that, here we are, Spence. Top of the world, somewhat, or almost getting there, I guess. On his way up to the top of the world. He's not a pay-per-view star. I don't care what anybody says, but 250 or below that, I think. Their numbers are distorted. You hear a bunch of different comments about that. Anyway, so you have these guys that are the top of the welterweight division, right? Right now at this moment. Monday, December 21st, 2020, right? Pacquiao, Spence, Bud, Crawford. Pacquiao's holding the WBA, Spence holding WBC IBF, and Bud Crawford holds the WBO. Right now, they're both campaigning to get the Pacquiao fight. Okay, what do you want me to do? I doubt Pacquiao will fight Bud because he has been calling him out for years. And Bob never made that fight because Pacquiao never wanted that fight. So when I talk about cherry pickings gone wrong, and that's another historical what's it called? Underdog story. The upset where your boy Horn from Australia, who no one knows, the Hornet, comes out rough and tough and punches and swings and it looks messy. And man, I'd like to see this guy. Now that I think about it, I would have loved to see this guy fight Porter. Like, man, that'd be the most exciting, interesting fight because they're both that fighter. You know, that one that gets out there and bang, 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 and sloppy and punch me and this and that and easily to hit. Don't get me wrong, Porter is, like I said earlier, that he did blow my mind when he fought Danny Garcia. So I guess I can't say too much about that. But at 147, put him up again. They should have had Horn fight Porter or fight Maidana. That would have been one of those would have been great brawls, you know. Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti type fight of the century. That was a fight of the century, you know. Well, anyway, coulda, shoulda, woulda, sure as hell didn't. The thing that is bothering me today in this video is about that's apparently taking me 32 minutes to talk about. And I hate to say it, just it's like, man, I just, you know, I feel like I don't want to believe it. Like, man, you call yourself the boogeyman. You call yourself the man. You call yourself the one that the strap season, right? Lights out or knockouts or, you know, the truth. Tell the truth, man. Tell the truth. What's the truth? Do you or do you not want to be undisputed champion at 147? Because if you do, there's a guy out there that's been knocking at your door and you're acting like it's the police and you're like, bam, you see him. Keep on knocking. I don't have to open the door. I don't, you know, do what you do. I don't, you know. If there was a way, I'm pretty sure that boy Terrence Crawford to get that, boom, kick that door in, bah, walk up in there and handle up because he wants it. He wants it, and we all want it. We all want that fight. Right? Now, I don't know if the fanboys want it so much. Because for some reason Earl Spence is calling out Canelo and they're making a big deal about the Canelo situation. But Earl Spence and Canelo, does it make sense right now? Does it? No, not at all. Canelo would murder Spence. Yeah, Spence came up, like I said in the beginning, he debuted at super middleweight. Canelo's campaigning at 168, right? Which is super middleweight. So from junior to super. And they want to meet Well, I mean, what's his name hasn't fought there forever at 54, but he can. No problem, he can. And I believe he would do a great job there. You know, I'd like to see Jermell Charlo. He's missing one belt, and this guy Patrick something from Brazil has that strap. Let him get it. And it'd be hard for them to do it because they train under the same trainer, but that'd be a nice fight to see. Jermall Charlo versus Spence. Like I said about the trainer situation. Who would get that advantage of sticking to Derek James and the other one goes to someone else? You know? I don't know. Anyway, but so he says one thing, that he wants to be undisputed, but then he's calling out Canelo for what? So you can get a big payday and get that loss and everybody be okay with it because you went up and dared to be great? I'm going to tell you something. Mikey lost a lot of supporters when he did that. Because when he showed up, when he was there, he didn't show up. His hands should have been in his pocket the whole time. He survived. And credit to him, he did a good job surviving. That doesn't mean nothing to the Mexican fans, to be honest with you. You know, or to the boxing fans, because you didn't throw your hands, you lost that fight or whatever. I mean, yeah, you dared to be great, you survived it, and you know, Spence got more slack, in my opinion, for not knocking out this little bitty dude. And now you have this other bitty dude coming into your division, knocking at your door, ringing the doorbell, tapping on windows, throwing rocks, trying to see if your garage is open, running around back, making sure the neighbors don't see so he can kick your door in, you know? Get in there, see where you're at, hiding under the bed. But you're the truth, man. You're the truth. You're the boogeyman. You're the boogeyman at 147. Where you at? Where you at? Why won't you make this fight? That fight needs to be made. And whoever wins that one gets the Crawford fight. And I mean, not the Crawford fight, gets the Pacquiao fight. I'm going to tell you something right now. Pacquiao don't want to fight either one of you. He wanted to fight Spence. He wanted to fight Spence because he had just got out that accident. Like, hey, I'll take that crippled guy, you know? He just flew out a window. I'm pretty sure he's not 100%. He wanted that right away. He wanted that before he even had his teeth fixed, you know? Like right off the hospital bed, Pacquiao wanted that, you know? He's Filipino. You see how heartless those guys are. They're killing drug addicts right there in the street. You think he has compassion for a guy just drinking and driving? Nah. No, not at all. You know? Not at all. I don't care how many times he goes up there and quotes scriptures. He has no compassion. No, he agrees with all that killing and deadliness. He don't care, man. He care about another life to do something like that. Anyway, another time, another video. But yeah, you want Bud? Fight Bud. That's what we want. We want that. But he comes up with excuses talking about now the 60-40, 70-30, and it's just going to get worse. We're going to get down to like 80-20, 90-10. You know what I mean? Talking about he's a A-side, like he's a superstar. Like everybody's talking about him, like his name. If I tell somebody Earl Spence, they'll be like, hey, you know? Negative, sir. You're not. You're not a household name. You're not. I wish you were. I wish a lot of these guys were, but you're not. Earl Spence is not a household name. He's not a superstar, pay-per-view star. Most of his followers are pretty much streaming it anyway illegally because, well, it's what it is. Because if they promoted the man as much as they did, if they supported the man as much as they promote the man, they you'd see the numbers. The numbers aren't there. I don't care whether epidemic. Now I don't know what the Canelo numbers were. They came out here during this epidemic, and where it's half DAZN and half pay-per-view, or however that. I don't know. I got both. I could do the pay-per-view, or I could do the Canelo. I mean, I got DAZN. Matter of fact, I almost by accident, I send you a text message to hit purchase the Canelo fight. Now, yeah, and then you put boxing or whatever, and you're supposed to get it, and then they can make it confirm. And I thought about it, like, what am I doing? But I'm just so used to it, right? I mean, any pay-per-view fight that comes up, I support, I pay for, I have, and I invite people over and I watch, I go out and I tell people about these fights, whether I am a fan of the boxer, I don't know. If it's a good fight, I'll let them know. Wilder, a bunch of fights, man. Even if they're not even on pay-per-view, I'm telling people left and right about it all the time. I support the sport, and that's another reason I want to do this show. And I've been blabbing on for a long time. Tired of the excuses. This whole career you guys have. Now you're getting the people riled up. Bud doesn't deserve it. This and that, and da-da-da, and what it is, and who's the A side, and who's going to make more money. Man, 50-50 it. Or better yet, man, 30-30, and the 40 goes to the winner. BG's about it. Y'all were out there talking to each other like crazy, talking about putting $1 million on the fight. Put it on the contract. Winner gets the rematch, and in the rematch, he gets that 60-40. Something like that. Do something like that. I don't care. Business. It's none of our business which I do financially. But don't try to insult the man like he's not worthy. Like people don't want to see this fight. Like this isn't a bigger fight. Because even if you fight Canelo, man, we all know you're going to win. I mean, we all know Canelo's going to win. That you're going to take that loss and you're going to get your little money. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I dare to be great to fight Canelo and this and that. Only people that think you're going to beat Canelo are people that are just blind to boxing. And all they see is whatever Ego and Dante tell them. Like Canelo's really ducking you guys. And then Canelo didn't even mention Earl Spence. Never mentioned him. Was just asked about it. And all of a sudden, oh, Canelo wants to duck Charlo and fight Spence. When? The man said, I'm fighting at 168. That's it. 168, and I'm fighting everybody who has a strap. Once I get undisputed, man, we'll talk about others. And if any of them cats down there that I wipe the shit off my shoe with their fucking forehead want to come and challenge me, hey, it is what it is. Gain a little weight, get ready, be prepared, and I don't want to hear excuses, right? Simple as that. Now, Canelo is not even the subject of this right now, right? The subject is Spence ducking Crawford. Yes. Whether he's ducking him or finding ways out of it or putting up hurdles or doing all this and that to discourage that fight from happening, he's doing. Call it what you will, but it's happening. Clear as day. Clear as day. But that's man, that's all I got, man. If not, I'm gonna start going on and on and on. I'm already 45 minutes on this thing, and man, I don't know what else to say because, if Spence was the truth, if Spence told the truth, he would say, hey, you know what? I want to make a little change, pocket change with Pacquiao, make a little pocket change with that boy Nelo. I lose to Nelo, and by that time I can say, hey, you know, older guy Crawford, you know, meet me at 154. I just fought at 168 or 160, and I don't think I can come down anymore. You know, convenience, I guess, or whatever, you know. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do, just do it. Share, tell your friends about it. As soon as I get some merch going on, I get my logo, you know, buy a shirt. Check out my website, BodyRockingCombos.com. And you know, I don't know. See where it goes, man. I'm just trying to do something with it, man. Gotta do something in life. If you don't ever dare to be great, you never will, right? And like that boy Canelo says, lo que se hace bien, nunca te sale mal. Something like that. Maybe I'll get it right later. But, you know, whatever you do right can't be wrong. Holla at your boy.